Friends, in the last video of this series, I talked about how to prepare for any long distance motorcycle ride to the places like Ladakh, Spiti Valley, Kinnaur Valley, Zanskar Valley or Pangi Valley, etc. Today in this Express FAQ series on traveling to Ladakh, I will further expand on this topic and talk more about some tips and tricks that you can follow while you are on the road on such long distance motorcycle rides in the Himalayas. So, without any further delay, let's get started. Jule friends, if you are new to my channel, my name is Dheeraj and I help people in planning memorable trips to the Himalayas. Well, long distance motorcycle rides in the Himalayas to places like Ladakh or Spiti Valley or Zanskar Valley are the epitome of all great adventures. If you are anything like me, you must have spent many days daydreaming of being out there on the road, enjoying the thrill of the wind on your face and your entire life in a backpack. But there is a lot more practically that goes into accomplishing such a dream. Please note that riding for long distance in the Himalayas is not just fun and joy. The daily grind can truly get to you, especially if you are not mentally prepared. So let's check some important tips and tricks and things to keep in mind that you should follow on such long distance motorcycle rides up there in the Himalayas. Point number 1. Know your limits. Well, if the longest ride you have ever done in a day is 250 kilometers or 4 to 5 hours and that too in plains, then you should not be planning to do 400 to 500 kilometers or 8-9 hours of ride per day, that too up there in the Himalayas and that too on multiple days. Most itineraries of Ladakh and Spiti Valley will force you to ride for long hours, that too on back-to-back days. So don't push yourself that hard as it will ultimately take a toll on your body as well as your mental health. It is always wise to scale up your daily travel capacity and build stamina gradually for it. Number 2. Be well prepared. The majority of your journey can be smooth if you plan it well. I have already talked about this topic in depth in my previous video of this series on how to prepare yourself for long distance motorcycle ride. If you did not check that yet, please start from there. Still, to name a few here as well, as mentioned in my last video, get your bike serviced properly before and after the trip, and please do not make any major modification before the start of the trip. Maybe you can ask your local mechanic to adjust the padding inside your seat to give you optimum height and comfort level. And remember, helmet is your best friend. Get a helmet which fits you perfectly and it is safe, and ensure you have a scratch-free visor on the helmet too. When you are packing, do remember to carry packs of mixed dry fruits or energy bars that will help you replenish your energy levels on such long distance rides. Point number 3. Safety is the key in long distance riding. Well, when you are in a game of long distance motorcycle ride, you are truly in a marathon and not a sprint. So forget about speeding through the roads. Well, I have seen many bikers recommending to take a coffee or energy drinks and keep going. However, I will strongly disagree with this suggestion, and instead I always recommend that if you are tired, the best thing is to stop, take rest and then move on. A lapse in concentration can be fatal in such remote places of the Himalayas. Same way, if you spot a long haul truck ahead of you, please maintain distance from it. Even if the road seems smooth, resist that temptation of flying past it to make up for the lost time. Long distance motorcycle riding is not rocket science. Use your common sense and know what you can and you cannot do, and don't take unnecessary risks. Number 4. Don't play those waiting games. Small efforts can make biggest of differences in your overall long distance riding experience up there in the places like Ladakh, Spiti Valley, Pangi Valley or Zanskar Valley. What I mean is, if it looks like or feels like it might start raining or snowing, get into your rain suit now. Don't wait for the rain or snow to start before you do it. Similarly, if you spot a petrol pump and you see that your current fuel level in the tank is less than 50%, then don't wait for the next fuel pump to show up, rather fill it up over there. Point number 5 is your riding gear and things to carry, which essentially is the support system on any long distance motorcycle trip in the Himalayas. Again, I have already talked about what things to carry on a long distance motorcycle ride in my previous video, so please check that out. Still, please remember that less is more is very much applicable over here. Access to things is very vital in the long distance motorcycle ride, so you should keep the things like flashlights, eyeglasses, etc. within your reach and with minimal effort. Finally, I'll say it again, do not ride without any protective riding gear on. Trust me on this, it makes a hell lot of a difference if you fall. Point number 6. You should know when to take rest. The easiest indication of after how long you should stop is listening to your body. If your back starts aching, pull over and take a breather. Stretch yourself out, drink some water, move around a bit, take some pictures and relax. Small breaks help you cut the monotony of the riding and make you feel fresh. As a rule of thumb, I generally take a break every 1 to 1.5 hours or so for at least 10 minutes. You can of course customize it as per what your body is telling you. One thing that goes in your favor when you're riding in the places like Ladakh or Spiti Valley, the beautiful views out there will anyways force you to stop on every other mile you ride. Point number 7, you should always be health conscious. Firstly, always prefer to eat light. Heavy meals can lead you to bunch of issues ranging from indigestion to sleepiness to puking and worse. If you are unsure of the food you are consuming, then it is better to stick to the classic bread butter toast or omelette. Another important advice that often goes unheard yet it is very important is stay hydrated. On such long distance biking adventure up there in the Himalayas, you should keep sipping water throughout the day. Add some ORS to replenish the salts and minerals. Remember that dehydration can amplify the effects of high altitude sickness, tiredness, aches and cramps will get much more severe. Finally, whenever you take a break, keep splashing your eyes with some water that you may have or walk down to that river nearby and use the cold water up there. It will make you feel very fresh. Point number 8, beware of your surroundings. Well, it is always good practice that you remain alert and vigilant at all the times. Up there in the Himalayas, you may encounter some roads which looks very smooth and straight. However, please be aware on those sections because you may hit sudden bump out of the blue as some water used to cross that section. Also, always look out up there in the mountains for any signs of shooting stones or any active landslides. Point number 9, maintain your posture, protect your back and hands. When you're riding for such long distances, your body will feel it and backaches are pretty natural part of it, especially if your riding posture is compromised. And if you're not a regular rider, then you need to be more cognizant of this fact. To circumvent this, the best option is to ride light, wear a nice jacket with spine support and avoid tying anything on your body, especially anything heavy. You should always try hard to keep your back, waist and shoulders free and light. Another thing that you can do to ensure back support is that to have a bag tied in the pillion seat which will provide you support to your back. Another thing that is often neglected is that you should not expose your hands if you intend to ride for large distance in one go. If possible, always try to wear gloves for long distance rides or else sometimes your hands might swell up as well. And lastly, point number 10, help travelers in need. Needless to say, you must always help other people stuck on their way with whatever you can offer, be it a lift, push, pull, fuel, spares, ropes, etc. Because help is always hard to find in such remote places of Ladakh and Spiti Valley. Do not forget this can happen to you as well at the very next turn, and it does not feel good at all when someone comes after hours of wait and passes by without offering any kind of help. Now let us briefly talk about couple of major challenges in long distance motorcycle ride. Even if you prepare well and do everything that is needed, you will still face certain issues. One of the biggest problems that will come your way is water wetting your feet. So, like I already said in one of my videos, you should always carry good pair of shoes that has a good grip, preferably waterproof and lots of socks. You can try and cover your shoes with plastic bags etc. but it will still not ensure full dryness. So if your feet gets wet, dry them up quickly and change the pair of socks. Some folks also carry an extra pair of gum boots and use them in deep water crossings. Lastly, the wind is a major disadvantage for the bikers as it hits your head and eyes. The helmet helps, but sunglasses will make sure that your eyes are protected throughout the ride. So friends, this was all about the things to keep in mind and some tips and tricks for long distance motorcycle rides to the places like Ladakh, Spiti Valley, Kinnaur Valley, Zanskar Valley, Pangi Valley or other remote corners of the Himalayas. In my next video, I'll talk about some of the important tips on how to carry extra fuel and luggage safely on your motorcycle when you're traveling to the places in remote Himalayas. So stay tuned my friends and I'll see you in my next video. Now in the end, if you found this video helpful, please do not forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you need any help or have any questions on your upcoming trip to the Himalayas, please feel free to leave a comment down below and I'll be more than happy to help you out right away. Till then my friends, Jule and please keep our Himalayas clean.